The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. Off the crank. Sailing by. The casually laid plan for this solitary nocturnal trundle along Sussex's serene coast had been to retain the format but dial down the intensity of Wednesday's impulsive roller derby, though the presence of palpable chills unaccounted for within our climate prophet's flattering computations soon convinced me that a constant degree of effort would be mandatory to ensure no major muscle groups entered cryogenic comas. Received mostly merciful treatment from ground traffic control once I'd departed my hometown's lamplit high street, gliding silently through both sets situated west of Fishersgate's deserted recreation ground, before a momentous double green at T-Bone Junction and Boundary Road, whereafter I pirouetted down the slip lane alongside Hove Lagoon, to commence a thought-provoking trek homeward along the lost highway separating society's industrial fortitude from a realm where humankind is permitted to survive at nature's benevolent discretion, so long as calm waters remain unruffled by the winds of foul fate, and visibility good enough to glimpse Shoreham Power Station's towering twin turbines, standing stock still within the monstrous shadow of their resourceful taskmaster. If I'd somehow tracked down and fitted the necessary portable pedal-driven dynamo from AliExpress, which had itself, by lucky chance, on a late Black Friday promotion, come bundled with a converter kit capable of attenuating my ragged AC to smoothly regulated DC, delivered at a highly improbable output of roughly 5 volts and no fewer than 36 amps, then the 180 mortally generated watts that Strava estimated I averaged throughout 45 unstructured minutes in the heartfelt Zen zone could in theory have been harnessed to swiftly charge a sufficiently capacious USB power bank, with enough stored milliamp hours to max out the flat batteries of at least 4 iPhone 17 Pros, and leave enough in reserve to keep a cat-eye Volt 800's LED bulb constantly illuminated at its peak brightness for a few seconds longer than it took Shoreham Harbour's current King cargo vessel to cruise through the open lock gates of its maritime parking lot and venture forth into the Channel's atypically tranquil waters. Once again, this tenuous calculation assumes that 100% efficiency was maintained whilst converting kinetic to electric energy, and decreasing the duration of any fixed power output increases its volume by a corresponding proportion. And one brief blackout later, on the festive season's maiden Sabbath, I was rattled into a state of semi-cooked consciousness by relatively natural causes, in this case, from a Sunday siesta, after every smart device in my eternally evolving synergy had been deliberately rendered too flat to execute its habitual resonant alarm call, and rudely cut short the last reel of hyper-realism that my restless mind's eye could project long before any closing credits. And in skipping to the squally chase, after evidently not tapping quite hard enough for takeoff, thereby allowing temperamental touchscreen technology to deprive me of at least half a torrential mile, I darted right down Herbie Hancock Way, engaging my core to remain vertical under screaming Lord South's gust-busting onslaughts, whilst trading sympathetic glances with every besieged yucca plant and palm tree I passed en route to the peninsula's sheltered riverside promenade. Their fashionably windswept plumages of weatherproof leaves now appeared more tousled than Brian May in his bad hair heyday. Plodded on around Emerald Key's secluded dock, where a variety of moored vessels, mostly small sailing yachts and motorboats, floated in snug proximity, patiently awaiting less perilous conditions that might at least permit them to approach the harbour's swollen mouth without danger of capsizing faster than an empty wheelie bin. Several thousand evenly spaced steps later, I'd successfully grabbed and bagged the single pint of sustainably semi-skimmed milk that was this self-assigned forager's sole priority item, and returned home, deftly dodging all but one poorly lit puddle at the corner of West Point that drenched my left sock following a failed mid-stride skip.